Hello folks, welcome to our canal channel Jose. Today we're going to show you something simple that can cause your battery to go dead, especially when you set it in the ground on the concrete. So that's the specific for that. So today we're going to show you something that is there causing this, and we don't attend it, and it's causing our battery to die, and we have to jump start it. So with that said, let's look at it. Here we have the battery from our car, and it's connected just like normal, and there's some acid buildup on the battery terminals, and that's so common. But today, after so many days of letting it rest, the battery is dead. It won't start, or engine won't start. So what's causing this problem, even if you haven't removed the battery or everything looks decent? So this is what's causing that. So here we have our multimeter down to 0. So we're going to check our voltage at the battery terminals. So we get a good contact, 12.6. So it's good without the car running. So after so many days of not using the car, it will drop in voltage and it will be hard for it to start. And this, we couldn't believe it, but this is what's causing that. So after time, your battery gets covered in some of the acid from these caps that start leaking out, and then they start getting the battery wet. And then you kind of wash it, and then this acid start building up. So we clean about this area completely with a rag, and then now we're gonna be testing around this area with our multimeter, and we couldn't believe what we found. We test for voltage again. So we got 12.6. So now we leave the positive in the positive, and then we get our negative and we spread it around the cap or the battery where there's acid. And look, we're getting 10 volts, 9 volts. Different areas gives us different readings, 9. And we're just reading off the cap or off the battery where it's wet with acid. So now we're gonna touch where we clean up, and it's 0.04, not even a volt. And look, where we didn't clean, there's voltage reading. You see that? We come back to the positive, there's 12.6, and just from the cap is 10.0. So that's two less volts than actually touching the positive or in the negative together. Here is that negative with the battery plastic wet in acid. So what we found out is that all that acid that spreads around the battery when it hits the chassis or the ground or any tie down point, and it just starts decharging itself because that's a conductor. So that's what's causing our battery to die. And when you set it on the ground, that's going to happen the same thing. It's going to just decharge itself because of the acid is acting as a conductor. So wash and clean it so that can prevent from you getting your battery discharged. The acid that is wetting the battery on the outside is causing this decharge on the battery because it's a conductor. So if it touches the ground, then that acid is all the way around to the bottom to the battery. It's just gonna steal that energy from inside, and it's just gonna travel along the acid, and it's gonna just go away. So that's what's causing on your car sometimes this decharge because the acid. So if you see some of the spots wet, clean your battery so that way there's no acid around it, and that prolongs the life on your battery. So we couldn't believe this, but we did the test and we show you. And if you see some of the wet spots, get a multimeter, do the same test, and you'll see some of those voltage uh, uh, where you shouldn't see any voltage because we're touching plastic supposedly, but no, we're getting readings because of the acid that is covering the plastic. So with that said, folks, for our friends who are watching our video, haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. If you like the video, give us thumbs up, share it, and we'll see you soon with more videos here on the canal, El Chano Jose.